got the power. You got the might.
No way.
Get ready for battle.
Give me your money.
Beat the Black Knight.
Well, good morning. The thing delayed. It should be good. That's weird. Just whenever I start the stream and switch scenes, before that it's fine. But let's just get into it. I wrote this down this time. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BlueGamer Bluecast Morning Show, the daily video game morning talk show where I, professional video game enthusiast for 30-plus years, Adam Blue, will cover news and industry insights along with what I've been getting into. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. There's some news to talk about. There's some things that I've gotten into over the weekend that I'll talk about. So yeah, let's just get started. First, something video game related is I have been working on a custom action figure of Richter Belmont, and here it is so far. It's turned out way better than I thought. I still have, like, I'm gonna completely redo the belt here. I'm gonna redo the straps here. I've got some leather that I'm gonna use on it. But this turned out way better than I thought. And also, I'm not happy with the boots. I'm still working on that. The proportions and scale seem off, but anyway, I just wish they had an awesome line of action figures from Castlevania. They have, you know, I talked about it before, ones from the 2000s, which are just okay, and then these newer ones from the anime, Netflix anime, which are actually pretty bad. Because here's the other interesting thing. Jada Toys has this line of Street Fighter action figures that are super cheap. These are like $25, yet they have the quality nearly like SH Figure Arts, Figma. And I love it because, you know, Street Fighter is kind of an iconic sort of video game franchise. It was one of those where, you know, I was into it back when it came out, when it was popular. The first Street Fighter arcade was at a local Walmart that's no longer a Walmart, but I remember that's where I would go and see that game. Yeah, and it wasn't until Street Fighter 2 that then I realized, oh, fighting game. They really revolutionized that. So anyway, these figures are actually really well done. I suggest anyone looking for some cool video game related, you know, Street Fighter figures, Jada Toys. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, good morning, Ultronimus. Good morning, Jam Kellex. Good to see you guys here. Yeah, okay, so other than those little, like, memorabilia-related things, when it came to games I was playing this weekend, I was playing more V-Rising. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about that a whole lot, and it's still really good. You know, it's actually really, really good. I love how hard it is. I feel like a lot of the times that I get to that next level, that next gear level, that's how it kind of measures where you are. I feel like it's like within an inch of my life, and I like that. And I think they do it on purpose that way. Even though I don't like the combat, it's just that the combat is fine. If the game was just an action game, a combat game, then I wouldn't be playing it. But because there's so much more to it, I'm willing to deal with the combat being, you know, it's cooldown based. I think my friend Steven helped me understand what it is. Because it's not like reactionary based. It's not like Twitch, like okay, I have to react and dodge and block. It's more like, no, okay, my cooldown's done. Now I can use this attack. Try not to get attacked. Well, then I use this attack. Okay, wait for that cooldown. Try not to get it. And it's just not as fun to me. It's kind of classic action RPG in terms of like, you know, Diablo stuff. It's all right. But what's really cool is, you know, it has all the Castlevania DLC. And the other day, and I forgot to mention it on the show, but I was just wandering around in the world and I ran into Simon Belmont walking through the forest, and he murdered me in a second. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not supposed to do that yet. And what was cool is as I was coming up to him, I started hearing the Belmont theme slowly come in. So in my castle, I got to the point where I unlocked the music box, and it's called Symphony of the Night, and the music box has 2 tracks remade specifically for this game based on Castlevania. So that's just awesome. Again, I'm enjoying the game. V Rising, I recommend that to anybody. It is well done. And then other than that, the other thing that I did, and it didn't seem like, I played a variety of things this weekend at all. The other thing was playing, again, Harmony of Dissonance, GBA. Although I've been playing more on my ROG Ally. See, the ROG Ally is really good. I just like playing it on this because I love the controls. These, and even this weekend, actually, I might have even talked about it. This is the related controller. This is like the full, like, console PC version of the mobile controller. The buttons are the same. The analog sticks are the same. The buttons, the LB and RB look a little different. They feel the same. The D-pads are the same. And I've gotten, playing so many games on this, I've gotten to realize, okay, I prefer this button setup completely. Even this is mechanical, the buttons here, and this is membrane, but they are still the same, where the actuation is the immediate moment that the pressure beyond just a light pressure, like almost like you're ready to press the button, so you're just putting some light pressure, but then once you're ready, you press it, and it actuates immediately. So, you know, I gotta say, for those looking for a good controller, this GameSir controller, I think it's like $35. It is wired. You could detach the wire. Really good controller. So that's the thing, that this is that controller. Now, I just found out something this morning that, so this controller made by GameSir, there is another version made by Red Magic. They make cameras and phones. They pretty much got this exact same shell. Like, they probably bought the template from GameSir and then started making their own. And it's like a black see-through. I'd like to get it. The thing is, it's $50 more, and it's the exact same thing. So it's like, I shouldn't really be wasting my money on that, you know, but I like it. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is, I've been playing a lot of Harmony of Dissonance on here. Basically, I beat the game, but I'm now playing as Maxim, which is like the Richter mode, going through that, having fun. The thing is, sometimes as I'm sitting there, it's like I kind of want a bigger screen, so I went to my ROG Ally. The ROG Ally screen is amazing. Playing games on that screen, VRR, 120 hertz, OLED. If it's not OLED, AMOLED. Looks amazing. It's just, I like the modularity of being able to switch out controllers. If I could use this controller on the ROG Ally, which I guess I could Bluetooth it, and then, but that's not the point. The point is to, like, hold on to it. I just launched a game accidentally. But, you know, that kind of goes into something, you know, I was going to make another video about it, but I might just talk about it here real quick. There are multiple more devices that have been announced within the last month that are screens that are about up to 8-inch that have modular controls that come off and go back on. And one that they've created is bigger than 8-inch, or maybe it's at 8-inch, where it's an actual like tablet. So that's totally the future right now. At first it was these little retro handhelds. Now that we can get things to be more powerful and have the modularity, now it's these screens with these devices you attach on. And Asus is actually coming out with a controller. It's actually, I think you could get it now, or it's pre-order, but it's the same thing. It's one of these suckers, but it actually even comes with the frame that you fit the phone in. I think that's a neat next step in the evolution of that. Anyway, hey, Rogue New Type, good to see you in there. Okay, so that's that. Let's go on to news, shall we? So let me move this over. Okay. Let's see, what's this? Japanese city pulls cards promoting local cuisine after allegations of Pokemon card plagiarism. Wow. I mean, that looks nothing like as close as Pal World. It's kind of sad. It's promoting local cuisine. So, not that I really care to read the details on that, but I mean, come on, that looks like it's a lot of fun. Unless they were like getting money from Pokemon or Nintendo, I don't know. Okay, Ubisoft promises that X Defiant will have no pay-to-win mechanics, which I believe that. I mean, a lot of games coming out lately have been able to not have pay-to-win mechanics. I think these companies get called out when that happens. So, yeah, just looking forward to X Defiant. Really curious how that's going to turn out. Baldur's Gate 3 developer Larian opens its 7th studio. Wow, I didn't even know they had that many studios. Good for them, I guess. They know how to do it, where they're not affected by the economy as much. Unity for Humanity grant. Oh, that's neat. Let's see. Private equity firm in talks to buy Keywords Studios. So I don't know Keyword Studios, but interesting to see these moves being made amid layoffs, cancellations. It's very interesting, and because I don't know. I think the news article's further down. We're about to get to it. If not, there's something I'll have to bring up. It's very interesting what's going on with the industry. Masahiro Sakurai refused to add Dolby Surround to a Kirby game because players had to sit through the logo. Interesting. One, I don't need Dolby Surround for Kirby. Two, I like that. There's this immersion with Nintendo where you're not really bombarded with a bunch of things outside of Nintendo. That's a very interesting little way to go about it. Previously unpublished 2004 video interview with Satoru Iwata has been shared online. Discusses the PSP, the revolution. That'll be interesting to go back and see. Xbox will make changes to the Game Pass model when it adds Call of Duty, it's claimed. Interesting. Let's see what kind of changes, because that's what's going to be very interesting, that when Call of Duty comes out this year, if it is, and rumor it is, going to be on Game Pass. Let's see. Last week, Wall Street Journal claimed, according to its sources, the knowledge of the situation, that this year's entry, which is yet to be officially announced, will be included in the subscription service. This will mark the first time a Call of Duty game has been included in such a service at launch. It would mean for players with access to Xbox platforms, entry cost for the game would be as little as $11, as the subscription model currently stands. However, industry insider Shinobi602 has claimed on Reset Era, man, back in the day when I was really in the game coverage, Shinobi was a frequent person I communicated with, and I was on the ground floor when Reset Era was getting put together when we were moving from NeoGAF. But to me, it was the talk. I know this is getting off topic, but there was the people that I was working with. They were like they were trying to out people on Twitter, like, oh, is this a bad person? Let's call them out and make sure they're never part of our community. And I was like, yikes. And I backed out of that. I even made some logos when we were first trying to put together logos for Reset Era. I don't need to click on that. But anyway, I don't know. It just reminds me of that time. Anyway, the addition of Call of Duty to Game Pass will also give Xbox the opportunity to refresh the structure accordingly. One user on the forum predicted that there would be a price increase for Game Pass, while another added, for sure they want the new signups they get from COD to be on the new free and be on the new fee. Okay. And we'll probably reorganize the tiers to be less confusing mess than it is now. Yeah. One, the way Xbox is worded, it makes sense. They're just wording it in a confusing way because PC is a part of the thing. And PC players have kind of a variant of what the Game Pass is. So I think that it's kind of weird that they did it that way, but I could see that they're coming up with changes. Is it going to end up being more expensive? Possibly. It would be interesting to see if Call of Duty, it's worth increasing the price for Call of Duty. Does that get more people to Game Pass? But then do you also get people that then won't renew or subscribe to Game Pass? But I wonder if the amount of people that like Call of Duty would offset that. We will just see. No one knows. This is like Microsoft's idea for a plan, not that they know for sure it will happen. Call of Duty's inclusion on the service was a long-held sticking point in the protracted court battles following the merger of Xbox and Activision Blizzard. Yeah, Sony thought it would be unfair. Okay, so yeah, there's not too much more on that. But yeah, June 9th, we're going to get more information. I'm excited about what the next Call of Duty is. And speaking of Call of Duty, so maybe I'll get to that. Let me just scroll. If I don't see what I'm looking for, I'm just going to talk about it right now. It is relevant to some of the people in this chat. Okay, so Bandai Namco had record earnings this past quarter, which is not... It's funny because with what's going on in the industry, we're not getting that a whole lot in terms of, you know, what's going on right now. There's this bubble that burst, studio closures, games being canceled. In fact, Bandai Namco canceled a bunch of games. That's probably what led them to this, to be able to get some profits because, yeah, there's games that they're not even developing anymore. But they also announced Gundam is coming to Call of Duty. Now, in what capacity, I don't know. And is this because of me? Probably not. But let me tell you that not only had I always brought that up, but I went and visited them last year, Bandai Namco, and talked to the people specifically in charge of making that happen and explained to them why Call of Duty, or why Gundam should be in Call of Duty. Now, do I really, as a Gundam fan, think Gundam should be in Call of Duty? No. But that's what's best for the brand right now. There's, you know, I'm a big fan of Gundam, and I wish there was more things I could do with Gundam that I can do with Star Wars right now. And I think getting it into something like Call of Duty can help. Although because of the nature of Gundam, about it being creative and you're creating something, it makes more sense for Bandai Namco to get Gundam into Roblox or Fortnite. They haven't yet. Hopefully they will. I brought up the whole thing to them when I was there. I'm not saying that they're doing Call of Duty because of me, but I talked to those people high up, and eventually, earlier this year, they excised me from the program because I made comments about it being a mistake that Gundam Breaker Force not on Xbox. That was all they needed to hear, and they said, Adam, sorry, we can't trust you anymore. It's kind of, anyway, I start getting to that, and then I'm going to, like, talk about that, but that's not what this is about, right? Anyway, I just think it's awesome that Gundam is coming to Call of Duty. I think that's a big turning point for Gundam in the United States, because Call of Duty is such a big... in the past, you would call it the dude bro, like frat boy sort of game, because it was more of a mainstream thing, and that was the age group. I don't know if that's still true today, but that's just kind of what it became, you know, and so this just means a whole new audience will be able to see Gundam. But in what way are they going to integrate Gundam in Call of Duty? The tease they showed, man, I wish it was in the news here. I should have brought it up. Anyway, the tease they showed was nothing. In fact, I need to actually dissect it because it looks like there's a shadow of a mobile suit on a building, and that's all, but it's animated a little bit, and looking at it, it's like it doesn't look exactly like the RX-78-2, so I'm curious what they're actually going to do. Man, I feel like I need to break that down and, like, do a video on it. I might do that later. All right, let's look at what else is going on here. Haunty looks neat, but I'm not going to read all of this. V Rising tops New Zealand charts. I don't know. I must be following someone that lives in New Zealand, because I don't know why that keeps popping up. In Australia. There's something about New Zealand and Australia. All right. So the rumor about Lego Horizon Adventures, but I thought that's something we already talked about. Ghost of Tsushima's director's cut is PlayStation's biggest single-player launch ever on Steam. Wow, that's pretty neat. Good for them. I love this sort of positivity of Sony on PC because Helldivers 2 was so popular, and it's their biggest launch ever. We get to Ghost of Tsushima, which is a re-release of a re-release, technically, because there's the PS4 version that came out, and then later the PS5. now on PC. And being that it's an older game that's had multiple releases and it's PlayStation's biggest single player game on Steam, I love it. That means there's going to be more there, more people can play. This is the type of thing I like to see. Modern Warfare 3 cut credit scene appears after 13 years and changes the ending. What? Okay, Modern Warfare 3 was the ultimate ending to one of the greatest trilogies in the history of the franchise. It was a monumental run from start to finish, taking players from COD 4 to Modern Warfare 3. Appears after 13 years to change. So I guess I don't know what this means. Do they release something to change the ending? I don't know. Do I care about a Call of Duty ending? Not really, so I apologize. Tesla is dropping Steam support inside its new cars. You see? The video game industry, it's just going down. No, I'm joking. So yeah, this is just saying, how is X-Defiant microtransactions going to work? Amazing customization options. That's what it is nowadays. It's just for customizing, which is fine. Planet of Lana? Never heard of that. Interesting. Oh, looks pretty neat. Little 2D game. Cool graphics. Okay. New claims suggest next Xbox console will launch in 2026. That sounds about right, especially if we get a handheld at the end of this year or beginning of next year. I don't know. I feel like that's going to happen. I don't know if there's anything else more. Okay, Ghost of Tsushima's PlayStation's fourth biggest Steam. That's the 17th. So by the end of the weekend, it did so much more. Good for them. Great game. I'm at the end. I never beat it, but I don't think I'd replay it on Steam because I got to say, PlayStation 5 still has games that rival the PC. And it's not just how it looks, but also how it runs. Because sometimes on the PC, you'll get some slight artifacting, maybe a slight hiccup. It might not happen too often, but there's something to do with Sony's hardware. They can keep things consistent. But let's go to this real quick. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. Coming this year, no date yet. So this is a remake of an NES game. And it looks fantastic. And I think it was called like Kage. Kage, which I think is Shadow. Yeah, Kage. There we go. I think I would always say Cage when I was younger, or even when I was older. And co-op. Okay, cool. So this looks fantastic, actually. It was... I forgot how I saw this. I think it was just like in a feed of mine, and I just the art style, that 2D art style, even the music I heard was really good. This looks super awesome. But no planned release. Actually, I wonder, that's a good idea. So we'll come back to my Steam real quick. Let's go to wish list. Now, this isn't me trying to get people to get me stuff on my wish list. This is to show release date. Okay, things that I've put on my Steam wish list that I'm waiting for. We've got Stormgate. So this is like a Warcraft, StarCraft clone. And there's a lot of cool RTSs that are supposed to be coming out this year. Oh, there's that other one. I totally forget the name. It must be on my list, though. I made a video about it. Okay, Sulfur. You know what? I did play this. Didn't like it. I'm going to remove it. Sulfur was like a roguelike dungeon crawler. It was cool, just basic stuff. The Storm Divers looks cool, but there's not much to it except it's massive multiplayer, battle royale, just good graphics. Okay, Iron Meat looks just like a Metal Slug style thing. Looks pretty cool. Earthbreakers, another first-person shooter, but it has RTS in it, so it's like I'm curious. Like, there's been so many multiplayer FPSs with RTS elements, but they've never really been done right. Like, I remember when that Command & Conquer Renegade came out, and it just didn't, for some reason, didn't take off. Nova Lance. I'm not sure. It says mechs, so that's probably why I added this. Detained 2, good for school. Oh yeah, this looked like a really cool beat 'em up. I totally forgot about this though. Similar to like the River City Girls, River City Rampage. Rogue Command. Okay, I want to say I did play the demo for this, and this was actually really cool. Kind of like a roguelike. Yeah, it says that RTS. I remember. Yeah, I remember building it or playing it and like building, and I was like, okay, it's pretty good, but the demo didn't give me enough. Okay, this is the one I am waiting for. Tempest Rising doesn't even say 2024. Some of these release dates say 2024. This just says coming soon. I cannot wait. I played the demo. I have a video up on the channel. This game is excellent. It's like what I want from Command & Conquer. All right, Agent 64, Spies Never Die. I'm really interested in this because it's basically the GoldenEye 64 gameplay feel, but it's a whole new game. A whole new game, so interested. It's sad, though, that even that has boomer shooter, because it's like the boomer shooters of like Quake and Doom have a different gameplay style than what GoldenEye was. You know, like, I get what they're trying to say with boomer shooter, even though that term is incorrect in the first place, but it's like, okay, we'll use it. But then applying it to a game like GoldenEye even further doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm crazy. Metal Slug Tactics. So, not that I really care too much about tactic games all that much. For instance, I did like Final Fantasy Tactics. I do like Shining Force. This one actually looks pretty good, so. Oh, Sulaco. This... Oh, and it's coming out on the 30th. Okay. Wow. That has me super excited. I did not realize. So I've played the demo to this game. This is probably the best feeling, like, even for a modern FPS. And again, it says boomer shooter, but I think what happened was we got FPSs and then we stopped for a while and it was just Modern Warfare for Call of Duty. But they're the same thing. I guess, I think all FPSs are called boomer shooters if it's not Call of Duty. Anyway, this game was great. May 30th, you guys watch out for that. Okay, Mayhem Brawler 2. I have the first one. It's pretty good, but super hard. Be interested to try the second. Again, a beat 'em up. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. The first one was excellent. This one looks amazing. The graphics look amazing. Can't wait. September 9th. Toxic Crusaders. Another beat 'em up. It's funny how we're getting these beat 'em ups like G.I. Joe, Toxic Crusaders. There's another one we might get to, but I played the demo. It's fun. This is a game that I would 100%. All right, Dwarf, real-time strategy conflict. Yeah, just another RTS that looked interesting. Towerborn. So this is that Microsoft game that they announced, and it looks really good. It's like a beat 'em up, but it looks like a highly produced beat 'em up, like a beat 'em up with high production value. That's probably gonna be pretty good. G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra, another beat 'em up, and it's G.I. Joe. I love these beat 'em ups like Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Toxic Crusader. They need to do another X-Men, the Power Rangers beat 'em. I love that stuff. Here we go. The Scramble Vice. Why did I... pixel graphics, robots, maybe female protagonist, vehicular combat. Looks cool. Okay, now everything else is out, but this I need to get. Turbo Kid. Like, this is a Metroidvania. This is exactly the type of game I like to play. Not sure why I haven't got it yet, and it's that price, so I might need to do that soon. Anyway, that was a quick look at the Steam wish list, and I'm glad I did that because the Sulaco, or Celico, however you want to say it, is coming out at the end of the month, and that's a game that I'm definitely going to put a lot of time in, because again, I played the demo, beat the demo, wanted more. I remember I kept checking back, like, when is this going to come out, and then I forgot about it until now. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see. Let's look at the chat before we go. Rogue New Type. Yo, Shining Force, great call out. Yeah, that's a good series. Ultronymous. I mean, GoldenEye was kind of like Doom, especially when you see a speedrunner playing it. I think, I think in terms of it being first person, yes, but they controlled very different. So, like, GoldenEye has a built-in auto aim to it that's made to, depending on where you're shooting the enemy, kind of shoot toward them, but shoot different body parts to affect them differently. and then you would hold down the button to then aim specifically where you wanted. Like, that's my example of, like, the gameplay is really different. Sure, it's in first person, but it actually plays different. Just sort of like, you know, Heroes of Might and Magic. That was a first-person game. It was Might and Magic, but it wasn't an RPG. It was first-person, but it played different because as you shot things, you were affecting the physics around you, but I don't think anyone would call that a boomer shooter, even though it's the same controls, perspective, and all that. Yeah, it is the boomer shooter thing. I get it, like as a meme, but it to be taken seriously almost incorrectly informs how games are. Yeah. Rogue New Type, I'm sorry to admit it, but I'm starting to like PC more now than console. That is perfectly okay, and it makes sense. I mean, there's nothing. I think for me, PC's always been better, but console's just been a good way to easily get into something. Let's see. I feel like, from Autonomous, I feel like from a game dev standpoint, beat-em-ups aren't hard, but getting an art style for it is. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, because I feel like beat-em-ups are fun, and it's a lot of times it's how they're dressed. What are the graphics? What is the IP? And I think so much, like, sometimes it's fun to just sit back and just play beat-em-up for a while. Like, Ninja Turtles is known for that. But, man, if they had a Gundam beat 'em up, I would be all over that because I just love the combat systems that they come up with. I like them when they're a little more involved. That's why then I like character action games, but then I kind of like more of the pacing of a beat 'em up. But anyway, we are at time. That was a lot of fun of what I was talking about. Let me know in the comments what you've been playing. Just curious what everyone's playing. Maybe from that list I was showing of the games coming soon, any of those look interesting to you. While 2024 might be a smaller year in terms of big releases, there's still some cool releases. So we've got Celico coming out at the end of the month. I'd probably be able to beat that by the time Elden Ring comes out, and then get into Space Marine. Or no, Gunnerbreaker 4 comes out right before that. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll talk again tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day. See you.